So you were telling me about the hazard allowance for Nigerian doctors being 5,000 naira. Is there anything being done about it? Now we actually have to talk about the government's part, because as you mentioned it, I'm like, hold up.
See, the problem is that government is not taking anything serious in this country. That's just the truth. Because if
So what are the doctors doing about it? The doctors association, what are they doing about it?
We have gone for strike. We have done a lot of things. We have been.
I feel strike doesn't really affect any kind of change. If you will not go to work.
See, the best thing that can happen, the best thing to affect the government is strike. That's just the truth. Because
oh really?
If you go on strike, patients are dying on a daily basis. So it's left for the individuals, the people, to protest about it. But then, when doctors go on strike, patients start going to private hospitals.
Yeah, of course.
That's why you see that a doctor will just work for 1 or 2 years, save money, rent 2 or 3 rooms, convert it to hospital, because that pays more than them working for the government.
And a number of them do malpractice because they have so much workload, and then they have to. Yeah. Is that sort of reason a lot of doctors? Because there was a report recently. It was actually our president who pointed it out, that there was a whole lot of doctors migrating to other countries, Canada, the US.
The truth is that any person that, as a doctor, any small opportunity that you see to leave the country, that's just the truth. If I'm meant to, like, if I want to practice in the sense that I want to fully go into medicine, but I want to go the aspect of business medicine, I will not be practicing in Nigeria. The stress and everything, it doesn't correlate with the payments. I can.
So none of you is actually thinking. I don't mean none of you, like personally, like the Doctors Association. They are not thinking of how they're actually going to make a change, create an impact. Like everybody just wants to move and live. So who is going to remain in Nigeria now?
The problem is that if you are trying to create an impact, the government keep on frustrating your efforts. For example, look at what happened.
Have there been efforts? Have there been?
For example, look at what happened in River State, Abbey Cross River, Dr. Wike. You know, the health minister hosted this our normal MDCN exam in PH, and due to he wasn't okay with that, he sacked the man. Because he's not meant to inform him, it's his work. So it's only going to be like, okay, governor, we need to have a brief meeting, that kind of a thing. It's not your job. But he sacked him because of the fact that he did not inform him before hosting them. So it doesn't make any sense. So the government frustrates those doctors. That's why you see, if a doctor see any small opportunity, they jump back. Some people...
what he means by Jackpa is relocate, ladies and gentlemen. But so, you know, that's one of the slangs we use in this country.
So that's just the thing. So any small opportunity people get, they just leave the country. So that's just the truth. So doctors don't want to...
How is that impacting on those of you that are still in Nigeria and looking to say that, okay, maybe one day I want to practice, maybe one day... Have you not been in that situation where you just see something going wrong and then you just want to help, you want to do something to fix it?
See, the problem is this, every individual wants to contribute to the solution to a particular problem. But the thing is this, you know, for you to contribute to that problem, you still need to have the same person that have the same energy with you. You know, when you are talking about, let's assume now, okay, fine, I want to have an emergency hospital or something. There is an emergency hospital in Nigeria that is working. Assume you have the money to start up that particular thing. Then, when you start it, you have an ambulance that is going to go and pick up a patient. On your way coming, even an ordinary person that is driving his car will be blocking the ambulance on the road. The whole frustration and everything will kick in. At the end of the day, they just want to give up.
So if you were to prefer a solution to that right now, what kind of solution would you prefer?
That's why I'm telling you that the whole thing still boils down to the government, because at the end of the whole day, the government needs to make provision for all those things. If you, for example, if you're in Germany or any country, any European country, let's for example, ambulance is coming, all the whole motor will clear. It doesn't obey traffic. You have to go
the road
straight,
have to clear.
No matter what. But in Nigeria, even when ambulance is going with your police, people still don't want to move. Like something happened. Thank you for bringing up this topic. Something happened when I was coming. An ambulance was passing. You know, they had to follow the BTRO bus lane. And there was a soldier driving. The soldier had to come down to take the ambulance guy to, you know, to clear for him to pass. So, you know,
was he on an entourage? Like
no, he's just a regular soldier driving. You know, with his wife. So you have to come down and tell the ambulance guy to move. Imagine if the ambulance is carrying somebody. You know, those kind of, that is what I'm saying, that in everything in this country, it's messed up to the government. That's just the whole thing, because to correct this thing, you need to correct.
That's actually very sad. Like thinking of it right now, maybe the person's life is on a clock or something.
So you will not know, you know, that is just the thing. And the whole, you know, for example, in in Lagos, all this traffic thing also costed because, you know, if the government wants to actually make those things easier for them, they should, these containers are the reason for this. That's a way to arrange those things. But then,
well, I mean, Lagos is an economic capital, so what to expect? Businesses,
the truth is this, if you want to reduce the whole thing here, there's a way to do it. The reason why all these things are jam-packed is because of those containers. Basically, all the whole people that import their product import through Lagos.
Yeah, of course.
Open other places.
Open other seaports like Port Harcourt,
PH, Calabar, all those things. Then they'll be free. Make it the same price. Not like when they open the airport in Enugu. I wanted to fly from Turkey to Enugu. The price was 1,700. To Lagos was 1,200. It's still the same international. Yes, it's still the same international airports. But why will I fly to Lagos 1,000 and fly into Enugu 1,700? You see, so those things is contribute to the downfall of the whole thing. The system is just messed up. You know, they brought the whole thing to us, then left us to.
So, as an individual person, what would you do differently if you had the power, if you had the resources put together?
If I have the power, the resources, what I would do is personal. So at the end of the whole day, if we start discussing it, we will not close.
Just tell us a little bit about it.
But the basic thing is this: to dissect the whole thing, you need to, first of all, if you are going into medical line, give doctors the offer they can reject. Most of these doctors don't want to work abroad. See, abroad is boring. Most of these doctors don't want to work abroad. If you go to Canada,
is it boring?
You just 6 to 6 work. You just work 6 to 6, 6 to 6, 6 to 6. So that's why you see, if an European man come back from Europe, they hardly give you $50. That's just the truth. Because they work 6 to 6, they hardly have time for themselves. You know, so you need to give these doctors the offer they can reject. You need to make them feel that important. It's because they're not feeling that important that is making them. How can somebody?
They don't feel they are being paid according to the.
It's not even they don't feel. They are not being paid very well. They are not being paid very well. You can't be paying a doctor $150,000.
$150,000
Naira in Nigeria, which a month.
You're serious?
200,000. Yes, now. Before you work as a doctor to be earning 500,000 and above, you need to be a consultant, even to 1 million.
Consultant and 300,000.
Yes, you need to know, like from 500,000 naira above to 1 million. Those kind of money. So, but 1 million is how much? $2,000. And that is what an intern can even work in 2 weeks. In US, in Canada, in all those countries. So
even Saudi Arabia, I hear a lot of doctors are moving to Saudi Arabia. What's the craze about that right now?
That payment is good. One of my guys is there.
What about the insecurity?
Forget about it. See, Nigeria, we are not afraid of the insecurity.
So why are you people shouting about insecurity in Nigeria, but you can move to Saudi Arabia to practice?
The money. If you are paying them very well, that is the thing. If you, see, I prefer to suffer where they're paying me well than to suffer after suffering you still not pay me well. It doesn't make any sense now. And the suffer here is too much. The sun, everything, are they always different.
Isn't it the sun in Saudi?
No, the sun is always different. With the
sun is different. Okay, you're saying the amount of money makes the sun easier.
Yes, now it makes the sun sweeter now.
Dr.
The pollution, everything.
Dr. John.
It's normal now. Yes, now that's just the truth now.
Oh my God, it has actually been very, very interesting talking to you about this. And you know, even though we are trying to dissect a very, very sensitive subject, I don't know how you're looking at it, but for me, this is quite personal because I have seen situations where people go to hospitals and there's malpractice. People die just because there was no particular drug. People die because before they could get to the hospital, just like I said, the traffic situation. And these are things that can be mitigated. These are things that can actually be handled. And we are losing so many of our skilled manpower, our doctors. And it's so sad that most of the people doing great things in these foreign countries are Nigerian doctors. You go to the US to take treatments and there are Nigerian doctors attending to you there. You go to the UK, Nigerian doctors. Okay, and they are doing so well. Now, aside the money, let's keep the money aside for a minute. How come they are so recognized and they are doing better than they would have been doing here in Nigeria? What is missing in between? Because I know it's not just about the money.
See, like I said, the system, the provision, the equipment, all those things are not here.
Facility.
The facility, all those things are not here. For example, when I was studying, if you are going to lab, everything you need is there. In Nigeria, sometimes before I traveled, You know, some people in IMSU have to go to UNN or something in order to do practical.
Are you serious?
Yeah,
You're not joking?
sometimes they will bring the equipment from there to them, that kind of a thing. The equipment is not there.
You're serious?
Yes. So it's happened like twice. So all those things, even when I wanted, I was telling my people that even if it's Ghana, let me go. I don't have
You just could not take it.
so
Oh my
then
God, I can't be. So this is for real.
So that's the thing. The equipment, all those things matters. You know, for most of those doctors that do surgeries, all those top surgeons, most of these top surgeons are Nigeria. But what makes their work easy is the equipment is there. Like it makes things easy. Normally, the theory part of it is already there. Then the practical part needs the equipment. You know, it can't be doing a surgery and they will take lights. It can't be doing a surgery and they say the fuel in generator don't finish. Sometimes some surgery lasts for 48 hours, sometimes lasts for 60. In fact, some last for 1 week. Doctors keep on changing hand. This one will change sleep, wake up.
Now, speaking of doing surgery and they take light, there was this friend. He was actually practicing somewhere in Benue State, Nigeria, and he was the one that actually brought about this incubator made out of a carton. Yeah, his name is Dr. Chijoke. I think Chijoke is his name. Yeah, Chibuike. And he invented that just to save a baby's life. He was delivering a woman of a baby, and after he did that, there was no light, but he had to find a way, connected gen, and it was so touching because he had to make a nurse record the entire process, and it was in the night. But somehow he managed to make sure that this baby did not die and the mother of the baby also survived. And guess what? The following year he relocated from Nigeria. I think that has to be one of the saddest experiences for me. Because this is somebody that could invent an incubator from a carton.
That's what I'm saying. The problem is Nigeria not harnessing talent. For example, when when that particular thing was trending, all Nigeria need to do is just pick the guy.
You saw it, right? You
yes, put it in a position where he's going to work.
Not want to leave.
Not want to leave. That's why, okay, for example, Americans, Germany, all those people, they just come to Nigeria to steal talents because they need those things there.
Yeah.
And that's why whenever a Nigerian gets a work in any firm abroad or anything, within the space of 2 years, you see them getting promotion up and down.
That was why I asked him, like, what makes them become so good suddenly?
Naturally, when you see the equipment, blacks are generally, not just Nigerians, generally, Africans are well talented. We are well equipped
and hardworking.
So it's easier for us to get. An European man will tell you that when he's, for example, when he's 3 o'clock, he'll be like, "Okay, sorry, my time is finished. I want to go home." And a black man will be like, "I need to finish that work I'm doing. I need to finish up." He has to finish up what he's doing so that that tomorrow is another day, another work, another opportunity, another. So those things, it makes them, progress. When I was in Europe, I set up my own lounge. People were like, "Oh, there is mafia and so this and that, blah blah blah." At the end of the day, the lounge is still functioning till today. So that's just the thing. It depends on how you position. Nigeria, the government is not harnessing the talent that is here. So those talents are moving out to where they are being appreciated. So that's just the thing. One of the biggest hospitals in the US is owned by an Anambra man.
Wow.
So Dr. I don't forget his medical something. I don't forget his name. They are contested for election also.
Okay. I think I know who you're talking about.
About 5 hospitals, 5 top hospitals. Is among the first 10 or first 20 in the US. Is owned. 5 of them is owned by him. So even in Anambra, he built some kind of
world class
boots. Their course, whatever, and everything. He built a lot. So all those things, these are the talents. When they go out, they keep on improving. But when they're here, the government suppress those talents. So at the end of the whole day, every of our problem boils down to the government issue. Change the system. Allow the whole. See, if you change the system of this country, leave the rest for the youth.
When you say change the system, what do you mean? I'm actually very curious.
Changing the system is holding the government accountable. Just put a law that is going to hold every government official
But then I am going to hold you accountable because instead of you people to hold government accountable, you are jackpying, you are running away.
If you are holding the government accountable, there is no law that is going to make... last 2 weeks, last month, a senator brought a bill that says that they are going to hold any government official accountable if they are not going to work well, if they did not work anything. The Senate rejected the bill. Because they know that if they sign the bill into law, it means that if I see a Senate that maybe that is representing my own constituency, and then it did not work, I will position boys and will beat you. because it did not work.
Oh, was the bill to encourage jungle justice?
To hold them, to hold them accountable if they did not work.
You cannot arrange boys to beat him.
No, I'm just saying now, you have to hold them accountable in the sense that they can go to jail, because all this money, there is a particular money allocated to every constituency. So those money, where are they going? One of them in my city went to do borehole and things say we are going to vote in the next time. The next time we just carry him come out. It's the only borehole that you're able to build for how many years? 4 years. With the whole money that look. How much is borehole? 250,000. For what?
And then they will come and launch.
They will come and launch with all that kind of thing. So
guys, we can keep going and going, but we are not here to talk about Nigerian government today, honestly. Because if we get into that one, we're just going to end up, going round and round and round. But of course, there are things that need to be done in this country, in Africa. And I know if you're watching this channel right now, you're definitely interested in Africa and things that are happening in Africa, not just entertainment, but political, social, etc. And this is just one of the issues going on in Nigeria right now. Doctors migrating, we're losing skills, valuable manpower. Imagine another pandemic hits right now and they're saying anybody cannot move. How many doctors do we have as against how many people did you say in Nigeria?
Over 200 million.
Over 200. How many? What is going to happen? Thank God that with the COVID-19 thing, people were not dying in the streets of Nigeria as earlier predicted, because that was a really, really scary situation.
Because of the weather condition. It's if COVID really hits Nigeria the way it was meant to hit them, if the reason why it didn't get rampant in Africa is because of the weather condition, all these abroad, Germany, all those countries are cold. It's virus, so it easily replicates. So it's cold weather. Here we are hot. When malaria came out, they were like, malaria is going to do this. And at the end of the whole day, it's like a regular thing. If you're having headache in Nigeria, just go and take malaria medicine.
But then imagine there was no weather. Actually, it's really, really, and I think something needs to be done. We need to start doing things both from our own little ways, as an individual, as an organization, as a group. Things need to be done. Even those of you out there watching this right now, you're in Nigeria, you're an African, you can start doing something. And I think it starts from sensitization, reorientation. Because at the end of the day, whether we like it or not, at some point, these people that we call the government, the leaders, they are going to have to be moved aside. But if the mindset is not changed, it's going to continue. Let's do something, no matter how small, start something. I have friends in Australia that are trying to start this sensitization from their communities. Get involved from your local governments. Don't just stay there and say because you have jackpot, so you are safe. Home is still home. Nigeria is our country, is our home. And no matter how long you stay there, you're going to have to come home at some point. And we don't want to come back to a jungle. We don't want to come back to a more deteriorated society. So it's all hand on deck, guys, with the government. Moving on. So there's this second topic.